First of all, I want to mention that you can hand-pick crystals in the caves, and also you can use the picks that you own to get more of these crystals. And the better the pick is, the more you will get crystals, okay? The more crystals you'll be getting, alright? And I want also to mention that if you own tool upgrade kit that I highly recommend you to have on your tool, the more crystals you'll be getting, okay? Just if you don't have any pick yet, if you just started to play the game, you can hand pick them, but if you have a pick with you, it's better because you'll be getting in more quantity. And if you have this thing here, you can make your tool more efficient and just drag it over the tool, and you can harvest in more quantity any resource actually that you can grab with a pick, okay? Just a side note, of course. You can get these crystals in a very small amount randomly. They are random drops actually from these little big guys here from rock noses. These 4 starters, of course, if you play the game already, just this is not any news for you. Sometimes they drop these things. They are actually really easy to kill. You can even use low tier weapons. But I'm just gonna save up some time. You can harvest them even with a pick. And they sometimes drop some even brimstone, usually stones, but brimstone and crystal are one of their random drops. Sometimes they don't drop anything, they drop a very small amount. If you are looking for proper amounts, then keep watching this video, because I'm going now to show you the locations where you can find more crystals. But really, before going there, I want to tell you that crystals can be used to make, together with other materials, you can make this very important for glass, for salt, dragon powder, radiant gems, shade spice crystal, and the map room itself, okay? Let's go. One of the locations that is probably forgotten is really this cave here, called the Cavern of Fiends. And I say that it's forgotten because probably this one, the Hanuman's Grotto, is the mostly known for the crystals. You can come here in a lower level because this area is for low levels and they have low health points. Just be careful if you are dealing with them in like a big amounts of them. So you start to see these crystals here. And I want to tell you that, as you can see, you can handpick them. You don't really need to use the pickaxe. As you can see, I'm getting like relatively small amounts of crystals. But if you use the pick, you will get a slightly bigger amount of them. And the better the pick, the higher amount you will get. And you have some more enemies to deal with. This guy is the one that you should be fearing. You can run away from him. Probably you won't have much time to use the pick here. So I just advise you to come here and just handpick them. When you become stronger, you can eventually beat this boss, but in the beginning, just try not to if you don't feel comfortable in killing bosses already. And as you can see, I'm gonna just use the iron pick and then the steel pick. I'm gonna get like what, 7, 8, and with the obsidian one I'm gonna get like around 8, 9, okay, but you'll be getting a really good amount of crystals for such a small cave. You can eventually just rush if you can just take the 4 guys out here first and then the other one here. You just don't have to advance much inside and just pick up the first ones here and just leave the place. So the next one, I will show you the Hanuman's Grotto that is right down here. There's a big amount of crystals inside. And a boss. Can go just inside of the water. They don't go in water, by the way. Can just leave them waiting in there, which is cool. They don't really go after you, which is cool. So I just rushed, and as you can see, I can keep picking up crystals. And you can keep going. You have many more on the other side. Then you have this guy here. And he starts to attack you. See, he's really aggressive. Be really careful with this one. Another location is over the Warren of Degenerates cave. And this cave also features imps. And this cave is pretty small. It's just too many. And another one is at the Scuttler's shortcut. The Scuttler's shortcut only has crystals in the beginning of its cave, because this one is like a tunnel that will lead you to the Weaver's Hollow. These spiders have a small health pool. They are actually easy to kill, but be very careful with them. You can also get Gossamer from here if you are interested in getting that kind of resource. There's a very small amount of crystal in the beginning, and then if you run further, there's like a really good amount of crystal over here that you can really use the pick. Then having to deal with these spiders can be a little annoying. Don't go further if you don't really want to explore this and just want to pick up the crystals. Another location where you can get crystals is at the passage. The passage has two entrances through the jungle, which I find more challenging to go through. So this area here where you have to deal with more spiders, yes, and the locusts, which are the strangest animals of this game, and through this side here, through the snow. If you just go through these stairs, you'll get there. but then you have to deal with this type of enemies, okay? So this is not for starters. If you get into this area instead, there's also a bunch of crystal here to pick up. Yeah, don't jump like I did, you have to climb down or just jump carefully. And you have more crystal here, you'll be getting the same amount hand-picked, okay? So just use your pick. All the way through you'll be getting these amounts of crystals, these clusters around the place. They are in green instead of red, but you'll get them in the white form. So just normal crystals, you have to deal with these spiders. These are usually relatively easy to kill. Yeah. And you have this horrible thing here, which is actually a boss. But you can try to avoid this and just be fast as possible. And you won't be dying. In points of interest, like in this area for example, in many other areas, you will find loot chests with random things, with random items, and eventually you can always find something like this here, okay? You can find small amounts of crystal eventually and other resources, so this is like no big news for anyone, but I want to mention that it's still in 2020 that the crystal locations haven't changed so far in this map, so I hope this was useful. Thank you so much for watching, and see you later. Bye!